Welcome to Sheila Lives Out Loud. I'm Sheila Moniga. Super happy you found this channel. Please click subscribe and hit notifications so you never miss an episode. And we're counting down to a brand new season, but before that starts, we take a look back at conversations that inspired us to live, love, and grow. In this episode of My Motivate, Irene Mutisya reveals the dark side of her marriage. After the death of her husband, Irene's in-laws made life a living nightmare for her and her children. And then came cancer.
It's so wonderful to finally have this opportunity to sit and unpack your life journey because, Mama, it's been quite epic. Sure. Before we get into the stew of it all, just tell us a little bit about who you are.
I'm a mother of three. I lost my husband in 2013. I've really gone through a lot, but I've seen the faithfulness of the Lord. So this far, I can say it is God, because it has been tough. But through it all, Jehovah is God.
When I bumped into you, in fact, it was one of your workmates who said, Sheila, this woman's story needs to be told. Yes. And so you've already touched on the genesis of the difficulties in your life. Before we talk about losing your husband, how long had you been married?
I got married to my late husband in the year 2007. So we were married for about 6 to 7 years. Mm-hmm. We were doing well. I had a stepson who was about 4 years when we got married. And then I got my daughter who is 10 and my son who is 6 years old. Mm-hmm. So by the time I lost my husband, my smallest son was 1.5 years. He didn't even know the dad very well. Yeah, so he was at the bar, he was just looking at us when we were crying, but he didn't know what was going through. Mm-hmm. But later on, I told him, because he used to call my dad, because I call my dad Daddy.
Dad. Yeah.
So he used to say my dad is at home, up country. Mm. So I told him, your dad passed on. So I had to start explaining. I showed him pictures. Now, recently is when he has realized that he looks like the dad. So now he knows that his father passed on.
In talking about your husband and him passing away, what happened?
He had gone to Mombasa. He used to work with the Ministry of Immigration, and he was also a lecturer in the Kenya School of Government. So he had gone to lecture in Mombasa. He left on a Monday. He was supposed to come back on a Thursday. Then now he calls me on Wednesday. He told me he forgot to carry his drugs. So the pressure went high. And then he was admitted at the Coast General Hospital. So on a Friday, someone called me, are you so and so as wife? I said yes, so he told me he's admitted and he has no one to take care. I was on my way to work, so I had to leave. I called my house help and told her I'm going to Mombasa because my husband is ill in the hospital. So when I went there, he was already paralyzed. So I talked to the doctors. They told me that the pressure was very high, and he had a clot in the brain. So I wanted to bring him back to Nairobi. I took him from Coast General Hospital. We were on our way to Nairobi. Then when we went to Moi International Airport, I was told that he can't travel because the pressure was very high. So now we went back. He was admitted at the Aga Khan Hospital. The pressure was 200/220. It was very high. And then they tried to control the pressure. It was not possible. So they had to operate on him to remove the clot. But after the operation, he never woke up. And it was really a tough time because now some in-laws started coming to Mombasa, and then they were saying that it is me who wants to kill the brother, I was like, why should I kill my husband? I have small children with him. So it was really tough. They came and they brought so many issues in Mombasa.
After the burial, what happened next?
After the burial, we had a plot in Syokimau. We had not built. So I wanted to do a small house. We had like tiles at home because we had done a big house at home. So I wanted to go and pick the tiles and some building materials which are at home. Then now they called me. One of the sisters called me and told me, whatever is in that compound that belongs to you, is that where your husband was buried. And you should never step in that compound again. And they even called my dad and told him that you should tell your daughter she should never step in this So I was like, my father called them and I told them, my daughter has been married to your brother for the last 7 years. Why are you behaving like you've just seen her? They really stressed me. You know, they would call me one after another. So I told them, okay, if you want me not to go to your home, I will never come back to that compound. So now they were, okay, after I said I will not go, they called me, they lectured me, they could lecture me until I developed some very bad ulcers. I was treated for the ulcers for like 3 to 4 months. Then my doctor told me, Irene, I have given you the best medication. So now we have to go. You have to do an endoscopy. So now that's when we did an endoscopy around December of 2013. And the results were to be out the following month. That was January of 2014. Then now I went for the results. I didn't want even to go for the results. So now the doctor called me. Then I went. Then he was like, he was reading the results. Then he just stood up and told me, Irene, this cannot be happening. So I'm like, what is it? Doctor, no, he's just saying, this cannot be happening. I'm like, what is it? Yeah. Then he stood up and told me, Irene, you have cancer. I was like, what the hell are you telling me? Yes, you have cancer of the stomach. I could not move. I just sat on the floor. It was, you know, that time, when you have cancer, it is a death sentence. So now, I don't know, I could not even think of what to do next. I just called my workplace and I told them I'm not coming to work, as in, this is too much for me. And I went to the lawyer and I wrote a will, because there was nobody, the way my in-laws behaved, I knew there was nobody who can take care of my children. So I went to the lawyer and wrote a will. And he told me, Irene, you know this is a will you're writing? I told him, yes, I am going to die. I have cancer. Ask you why? Oh, you
yes,
shared I told with the lawyer. I have cancer, I'm going to die. So now, my son was home during that time. I think they had come home for midterm. And then I called him, I told him, Isika, Mom has cancer and I'm going to die. And if I die, you will take care of your brother and your sister, no matter what. You've seen what your aunties have done to us, and we belong to nowhere. It is only the 3 of us. So please, you will take care of these children. And I told him, no matter what happens in your life, never leave your brother and your sister. So now the doctors told me that I have to go for an operation. It was so, I didn't want. So we went to there's a friend of mine who is a born-again Christian. She told me, we were praying, because I didn't want to do the operation because I knew I would not wake up. And I had already started putting my things in order. I told Isika, these are the title deeds. This is the log.
How old was he by then?
12 years.
It was just about a year after the loss of your husband.
Yes. So we prayed with that lady. Her name is Beatrice Kala. She's like my spiritual mother. So I was telling her I'm fearing the operation, because I was told it will take 6 hours. So they had to remove the whole of my stomach. They had to do total gastrectomy. Because the doctor told me cancer of the stomach spreads like fire.
Very fast.
Yes. So we prayed, and then the last day, she told me, Irene, I got a breakthrough. I also told her the same. I got a breakthrough. And now I went for the operation. So I went, the operation told, okay, after I woke up, that is when the doctor told me there were some complications, and it took 7 hours. And then I woke up, I was taken to the ICU, then HTU, then to the ward. So now I was awake. Okay, I was pushing my legs. Oh, okay.
So you're still here, exactly, wiggling your toes and just knowing that you're still here. That must have given you a lot of comfort and a lot of strength as well.
Yes, because now I said I have overcome this. And now I was asking the doctor, so I don't have any cancer anymore. Now she told me it's a process.
It's a process before they can give you the all clear.
So after this, we had to do the radiotherapy. And then I will be checked, like, she told me you have to be declared cancer-free after 5 years.
Yeah, it takes 5 years.
Yes,
exactly.
now...
And every year you've got a series of checkups that you have to go
yes.
through.
So I've been doing them, and now during all this, none of my relatives, my in-laws, they've never visited me in hospital. They never even visited the children. And it's only my mom, my sisters, and my brother who have been like, they are the people, and the church. They've really stood with me all through this.
But just knowing what you've gone through, if you could face your in-laws today, what would you say to them?
You know, it took I joined a church, International Christian Center in Mara, and there's a book before you join the church you go through. It's called Connecting to God and Connecting with Others, and it talks about forgiveness. So we were talking about that chapter, and I was asking our pastor, David Mwaniki is a deacon there. I was asking him, should I really forgive these people who have really treated me this bad? You know, I had so much, I had carried them. I was so bitter with them because most of them, my husband educated their children. He used to help them. And here they are the children. You know, they told me we are not bloodly related. So it really took the hand of God for me to forgive them because I was so bitter. I've done nothing wrong. They just ate me for no apparent reason. I'm taking care of these children and I'm sick. I was like, what? There's a time I almost committed suicide because I said I had planned to take a pillow because Mary was 5 years and Junior was 3. And I used to sleep with them in my bed. When my husband died, they moved to my bedroom. So I said, now this is too much. What have I done to these people? I said, I'm just going to, I bought a rat I wanted to take. I drink it and then I just kill them because I knew at least Isika can go to the biological mother. But these two, when I'm gone, they'll have...
No one will take care of them.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
It was a tough time for you.
Yes.
But forgiveness is something that is now the natural thing for you.
Yes.
If they were here right now, sitting and watching, you would say you forgive them.
Yes, I have forgiven them completely. I have nothing against them.
There's somebody who's watching this channel and is going through suffering from the in-laws. What would you like to say to them?
One thing I've learned through all this, God will always give you what you can handle. So even if you're hated by your in-laws, God allowed that because you can handle that. Yeah, because I was asking God, why did you allow me to get married to Mutua and then he dies? You know, there's a time when he was in the ICU, I went and shook him, asking him, why are you sleeping? Wake up. Because now when they came to Mombasa, it was a hell. So I was telling him, why are you sleeping here when your in-laws are torturing me? I was asking God, where were you all these things are happening? I lost my husband, I am sick, I am kicked out. Where were you? Then a voice told me I am seated right where I was seated when my son was being crucified. Then it came to me, I realized that if God himself allowed Jesus to be tormented, to be tortured for no apparent reason, but just because of us, to die for our sins, he allowed this to me because he knew I can handle this very well. So I have just learned to let go of everything and to let God guide me. If it were not for God, I don't know if I would still be here.